Alright, hey yo, this is Dash, and I'm not going to do a really cool intro or put my face up there or anything like that. Basically, I put up that video on how I prepare my briskets, and I figured, or one of the other things that I get questions on is how I prepare my ribs. So these are ribs. This is 6 racks of baby backs. I have 6 racks of baby backs. You have to pardon me, it's 5 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday. I needed to get these ribs done and started early, so I am prepping them to get ready to go into the smoker. So the first thing that I do when I get the ribs is I take them out of the packaging and I rinse them off, make sure they're pliable. The next thing I do is remove the SilverSkin. Now there's 2 ways to remove the SilverSkin. Because of the fact that I wear gloves when I'm working with my ribs, typically what I end up doing is I'm able to just grab the ribs. Now you always start, there's a big end and a small end. I always start on the smaller end. I don't know how or why, but it seems like this area down here, typically I can get a better grip with. And I just kind of get in, and I'm sorry. So let's see if I can do this so you can see. But I get in between either the first and the second bone or the second and third bone, and just kind of get my finger back underneath there, and you'll start to peel up a little membrane. Here it is. All right. Now, if you're lucky or good, it'll come across or it'll come off in one piece, and this is it. Okay, that little membrane, it just, it allows for more smoke and penetration of the smoke on the back side of the ribs, and nothing that can really be done with that. I just throw it away. This rack, luckily enough, looks like the SilverSkin was almost all pulled away. So we're gonna get the rest of that off. And sometimes you'll notice that, they'll come with the SilverSkin already kind of removed. All right. So again, you're gonna reach in here. Now this rack actually is still a little frozen. Obviously you guys can't see that, but I can feel it because of how cold it is. Might be a little more difficult for that one. I'll run that under some water. Here's a good one. Now, I get asked all the time about this, or when people, when I tell people I do this, they say, well, don't the ribs fall apart? No, they don't. That little membrane, because you have to remember that the ribs are obviously on the side of the pig, all right? And if you were looking at this, I think, and I'm not sure, don't quote me, but I think the small end is closer to the head and the big end would be closer to the tail, okay? And the way this works is, again, don't quote me, I don't know if the ribs go this way or this way. I've never actually found out, but I think it might be this way, okay? Because that could be kind of part of the spine up here. But nonetheless, anatomy, what happens is that SilverSkin keeps the insides in and the outsides out. I was doing this yesterday and my son came through and he's like, what are you doing? And I started to explain it to him, and he didn't quite understand it until I said the SilverSkin keeps the insides in and the outsides out. Alright, let me grab a paper towel because I told you there's 2 different ways to get this done. Because of the fact that I use gloves, these are nitro gloves that I get from Harbor Freight. They have a little bit of, can't really see it, but there's a little bit of texture on the fingertips, and that helps me to grab that. Alright, so now this is just a piece of paper towel, and what the paper towel does is it gives you extra grip or extra leverage. So when you're using the paper towel, you're just going to fold it up like this. Now obviously this isn't a whole paper towel, I just tore a little bit off. You just grab it, and you see how amazing that works? Again, we're going to take the full length of it off, and it just goes in the trash. So again, once you do this a couple times, you'll get the hang of it. And when I say get the hang of it, like the first, I don't know, first dozen or so, I struggled with pulling the SilverSkin off. But I've cooked cases and cases of ribs. I've probably cooked a couple, I won't say a couple thousand, but probably in the high hundreds. And again, if you can get it to come off in one piece, awesome. And I don't know of anything to do with this. I just throw it away. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm just going back to check and make sure that all of the ones that I have here have the SilverSkin removed. And we'll come back to this frozen rack. We'll see if the paper towel helps me get that frozen one a little better. Now I told you to start this in. I don't know why or how I started this in. I just found it always easier to grab it than the other end. And check that out. And that, simply stated, is how I start to prepare my ribs. Now the next step in the process for me is I'll rinse these guys off again, and then I'll put my seasoning on, and then they go into the smoker. Hey, thanks for watching. If you're in the Baltimore area, hit me up. SteelDrumSmokers.com. Here, we'll put it. Let's see if we can. SteelDrumSmokers.com. If you're not in the Baltimore area and you know somebody that is, tell them to hit me up, alright? I'm actually probably going to be going at this full time sooner than anticipated. So, if you can, like I said, throw some business my way, awesome. Do me a solid. Leave a comment down below and tell me if there's anything else you want to see. When I put up the first video about brisket, I had someone ask me about chicken, how to get chicken skin crisp. And I think there was somebody else that might have asked me about ribs, which is why I'm doing this. Or at least I thought someone did. So we'll talk about chicken in a future episode, if you will, or at a later date. Alright? But that's it for this right now. Alright? Thanks again for watching. Talk to you later.